Imagine having a loved one go missing and feeling like no one is taking it seriously. This is what happened to Hannah Harris, a 21-year-old Indigenous woman from the Northern Cheyenne tribe. According to the Institute of Native American Studies at the University of Georgia, her disappearance in 2013 was initially downplayed by local law enforcement. She was found days later by a volunteer team after her family and community had already searched for her. Indigenous women face disproportionately high rates of violence and disappearance. However, many of these cases go underreported or remain unsolved. According to the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center, 84.3% of Indigenous women experience violence in their lifetime. Through research and credible sources, such as data from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, I've learned about the seriousness of this ongoing crisis. Hello, my name is Lillian Makuga, and today I will inform you about the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous and Alaska Native women, including its scope, causes, and efforts towards justice. First, it is important to understand the scope of this crisis and how widespread and serious it really is. Indigenous women experience violence at significantly higher rates than other groups in the United States. According to the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center, murder is the third leading cause of death for Indigenous women. Supporting this, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that homicide is one of the leading causes of death for American Indian and Alaska Native women. Indigenous women are disproportionately affected by violence compared to other populations. In some areas, they are murdered at rates up to 10 times higher than the national average, according to the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center. Jurisdictional issues also make it difficult to properly track and respond to these cases. Now that we understand how widespread this issue is, let's examine the causes behind it. One major cause of this crisis is jurisdictional confusion between tribal, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. Because authority is often shared or unclear, it can be difficult to determine who is responsible for handling a case. According to Native Women's Wilderness, this confusion can lead to delays and a lack of accountability in investigations. Systemic problems also worsen this crisis. Indigenous communities have faced long histories of discrimination and marginalization, which affects how cases are treated. In addition, cases involving Indigenous women often receive less media coverage compared to other cases, reducing public awareness and urgency. Social factors also increase vulnerability for Indigenous women. According to the National Institute of Justice, most violence against Indigenous women is committed by non-Native perpetrators. Additionally, poverty, geographic isolation, and limited access to resources make it harder for victims to receive help and protection. After looking at the causes, we can now explore what is being done to address this crisis. Advocacy movements are helping bring attention to this issue on a national level. The Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women movement works to raise awareness and demand justice for victims and their families. According to the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center, the red handprint symbolizes the voices of Indigenous women that have been silenced. Government actions are also being taken to address this crisis. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, new efforts are improving how cases involving Indigenous women are tracked. Task forces and new laws have been created to improve coordination between agencies and increase accountability. Indigenous women are also taking action to address this issue. Many communities organize search efforts and provide support for families of victims. They also work to increase education and public awareness about the crisis. In conclusion, the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women is widespread and caused by multiple factors. It involves high rates of violence, systemic challenges, and a lack of accurate data and attention. This crisis continues to impact Indigenous communities across the United States today. By educating ourselves and others, we can help bring attention to this crisis and support efforts towards justice and change. Data from organizations like the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation show the seriousness of this issue. Raising awareness is an important step toward ensuring that these voices are heard and not forgotten.